And Jeff and Colton are also in this group. Our overarching long-term problem that we found was the overcomplicated organization of the step-by-step process, or in the ordering process, and how we came to that conclusion was the new computer system we thought is causing more issues than what it's really solving. Our short-term problem is the shortage and the lack of actual wiper blades, which cause the truck to idle and increase the idle time of that truck. The symptoms that we found for long-term, the new computer system is causing more issues, as well as the short-term problem is a symptom for the long-term problem with us having no wiper blades in storage for the truck. Also, there can be a system error or human error as well, since this is a new system and people haven't been properly trained on it. For a short-term symptom, the idle time costs are very high whenever we don't have a wiper blade, as well as lack of providing the city service because of that truck is sitting there and not doing any work.
Hi, I'm Jeff, also with Team 4. I'm going to talk about the alternatives. For the first alternative for the long term is we add a manual method for the safety net for the systems, and by doing that we can add a safety net for future issues, but that takes away from the system. It spends more time that we can allocate on other things. The second one, we can restructure the purchase sequence. That'll simplify the process, but doing that, it takes time and planning, which that we can use on other things. Then third, implement training for the department on the system, which is a good idea because people are trying to learn a new system, so flaws like this are going to keep happening. On the cons, it requires a lot of participation, and we're facing some pushback from our employees. Lastly, on the long term, we can just do nothing. We can assume that this is an isolated incident and the problem will go away, and by doing that, it might not be an isolated incident. More issues can arise, and doing nothing won't fix our long-term problem. With the short-term problem, as far as the shortage and lack of blades that we're facing right now, we can manually audit, invoice, and order parts. It will make it go by quicker, but at the same time, it will take away from the system, and we're trying to implement this system. And secondly, we can increase the inventory count. We can just create a safety net, but at the same time, that will increase our costs. And so third, we have maintain the database on inventories. We create a database, so we have the warehouse responsible for that, so that the stock is never low. But the con for that is it creates extra work and responsibility, and we don't know if we have the staff in the warehouse to maintain that kind of management. And lastly, on the alternatives, we hire an IT consultant. The IT consultant can run diagnostics on our system and find out if we have any issues, but at the same time, if this was an isolated incident, we might be wasting our money on those issues. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Colton. Hello, I'm Colton. I'll be going over our group's recommended solutions, our barriers to those solutions, as well as the timeline of implementing our solutions. First up, for our long-term problem, we're going to go ahead and go with alternative 1 and 3, adding a manual method for getting our purchasing through in case there's an issue with our systems. If a system shuts down or there's another issue with our systems, we want to go ahead and have that back safety net for purchasing in case we cannot get orders out. We want to do it manually. We're also implementing training for all departments on the system. Therefore, this eliminates user errors in case that was the issue for our case right now. and as well as it just gives a better understanding of how to use our system and a better just knowledge on how to implement purchasing in the future. For our short-term problem with the wipers, we're going to go ahead and hire a consultant of IT in order to get a better understanding of our system, have someone looking at the system, making sure our system's working appropriately, and therefore it can just go smooth sailing from here with all our purchasing, as well as helping him with our training system as well and have his thoughts on that as well. Also with the wiper blade solutions, we're going to go ahead and get that manually sent so we don't have any more idling trucks and we can better serve our community in that sense in this time of year. The barriers to our long-term solutions is that we need full participation and full cooperation in implementing this training program. We need those to participate in it. We need full hands on deck to see what we need to add into it and then get that implemented. Our barriers for our short-term solution is finding our right employee. It's a very extensive time hiring someone, especially with a position that we're just now opening, which is why on our timeline, in our immediate thing, we're going to get this wiper blade situation handled. We're going to create a position, understand what we need for this position, and put that out there so we get applicants. Within 2 weeks, we're going to start our training plan, getting with each other, asking our departments what you need help with, get a survey out, and get that training plan started, as well as start hopefully seeing people applying for our IT position. Within 1 month, we want to be holding interviews and get this done as soon as possible. Usually it can take 6 months. We want to try and get it down into about 2 months to 3 months to get this IT person in order to get the system running and more cooperative with our users. So other than that, on 1 month, we also want to be sure, get this training plan started, and therefore we can implement it in a few months after it's created. 2 months, we are going to try, hopefully, get our first hire. If not 3 months, get our first hire for our IT position, as well as continue adding to our training program. Within 6 months, we want to initiate that training program and hopefully have everyone take it and get good understanding and therefore implement and be able to handle purchase from here on out with that system, as well as hopefully have a permanent IT employee. And I believe for the next year or so, we'll keep testing that IT employee, and hopefully we can keep that person, and if not, then we'll just have to keep trying again. Thank you very much. This is Group 4.